Hi, Augustine. Hi, Princess. So today, I'll be talking about the documents you would need to apply for your studies in Canada. Let's wait for a few minutes before we begin. All right, hello everyone, welcome and good afternoon. Today I'll be talking about 10 documents you would need to apply for your studies in Canada. My name is Happiness. I'm a counseling expert in Nexa Concept Limited, Port Harcourt branch. Welcome. Pick up your pen and your book because every information I'm going to give out today is very important and vital. Perhaps you don't wish to forget any of these facts. Kindly jot them down. Alright, so in order for you to get an offer from universities in Canada, in order for you to go to that desired college or university in Canada, there are documents you need to put in order for your application to be outstanding and in order for you to get an offer letter. Alright? So number one on my list is the international passport. You're actually going to be needing your international passport. Your international passport is a means of identification, right? So it ought to have your official name. The name you bear on your credentials, on your certificate, ought to be same with the name on your passport. And for the married ladies, if by any means the name you bear in your certificate is different from the name on your passport, you have to get a newspaper change of name and affidavit of a change of name for you to prove that you are the real owner of the passport. Also, and most importantly, your passport should still be valid. 6 months into expiration, it is termed invalid. So if your passport is 6 months into expiration, it means you need to get a new passport. Apply for a new copy before you begin your application. Number two on the list is your degree certificate. Yeah, your degree certificate is very important, especially for those going for a master's degree. If you're going for undergraduate program, you do not really need your degree certificate. What will be required is your WAEC and your school transcripts. Your result from SS1 to 3 will be required. Then for those going for master's program, your degree certificate will be required. This degree certificate should be the one issued and awarded to you by your institution, right? It should be the one bearing your name. It shouldn't be a notification of results. It shouldn't be a statement of results. Perhaps you had OND, HND before you went for BSc. It is also important you get your degree certificate from the OND or HND. Add it together with that of your BSc before you put in your application. Number 3 on the list is the transcript. Yes, lots of schools in Canada will require you get an official transcript. An official transcript means a transcript that is sent from your school either electronically or via mail. Electronically means being sent through an email to the institution in Canada. Sending it from the school you passed out from or you graduated from in Nigeria to the school of your choice in Canada, right? And if it's to be mailed, the seal shouldn't be broken, it shouldn't be tampered with. It's going to be sent directly from your own school as well to the school in Canada. Another on my list is IELTS. Number 4 on the list is an IELTS. IELTS is an English proficiency test that ascertains the level of your English prowess. Some schools will demand you write an IELTS, right? But since Nigeria is an English-speaking country, a lot of schools usually waive IELTS or English-speaking certificate for Nigerians. Perhaps you would also want to use your WAEC in place of IELTS. It is acceptable. But even if your school requires you write an IELTS, there are other ways by which you can maneuver this, like getting an English proficiency letter from your institution that shows that you were taught with the English language all through the sphere of your education. Also, you can as well get a proficiency letter from your place of work to ascertain your English prowess and to also tell the admissions officer that you are versatile with English language. Number 5 is your WAEC certificate. Your WAEC certificate is very important, especially if you are an undergraduate student. Although, even if you're a master's student, some schools will still require your WAEC certificate and a scratch card. It shouldn't be the computer printout. It should be the main WAEC certificate. Although you could actually put in your application with your statement of results, your WAEC statement of results. Yeah, but before your admission comes, you need to get the main WAEC certificate. Same is applicable to your transcript and your degree certificate. Some persons have notification of results. Some persons have unofficial transcripts. Now, if you have an unofficial transcript, yeah, you can actually put in your application with your unofficial transcript. But for evaluation, that's for evaluation anyway. But before your offer comes, ensure that your school sends your official transcript to the institution, to your institution of interest. Another on the list is the CV. The CV, your CV is a very strong document that would actually showcase whom you are. Yeah. So your CV should come with a header, and the header ought to bear your full name and your contact details. And also on your CV, you have to clearly define settings with headings to show different your different qualifications and experience. So on your CV, the first thing after your name and contact details should be your academic experience. On your academic experience, you should write the name of your institution, the course you studied, the year you started and when you ended, and the degree you acquired. Next should be your work experience. On your work experience, you should write the name of your company or organization, the month you started the job, and the year. Also, you need to write the position you hold or the position you held, and also use bullets to outline your roles. Your roles ought to be outlined one after the other. Do not write only your position and you leave it. Outlining your roles will give the admission officer the privilege to know what you've been up to. And it is also advisable that you arrange your CV in a chronological order. Write it in such a way that your experience, your utmost experience, is the first to appear on your CV. Your most recent experience should be the first. Same is applicable to your education. After your experience, you need to impute whatever skills you've acquired. If, for instance, the course you're going for is related to computer, you need to show your computer skills, outline your computer skills that is relevant to the course you're going for. And if there are publications you've gotten, you need to attach the publications as well. The next is, number 7 rather, is statement of purpose or your personal statements. The statement of purpose usually is a minimum of 800 words and maximum of 4,000 words for master's applicants. But for undergraduate, it's 500, minimum of 500 and maximum of 2,000. Your SOP is a crucial essay that discusses your application, that discusses your academic achievements, your work experiences, the reason why you need to go for the course, why you're going for the course. So your SOP is where you're actually going to sell yourself. On your SOP, you should start with your background. Tell us the background information, or tell the admissions officer rather about your background. After your background, you should be able to write about your academics, the institution you attended, the course you studied, and when you graduated, right? And after that, you can go into writing about your work experiences. On your work experiences, it's very important you state the jobs you've done, the organizations you worked for, state the dates, and state the roles and responsibilities you carried out while in those organizations, especially those that are very relevant to the course you're going for. And it is very important too that you add internships and non-paid jobs you've done. It's very important, yeah? Here it shows the admission officer that you are interested in this course and you're a very hardworking person. So you're a very hardworking person and you are not actually doing this because of the financial gain. You're doing it because you're hardworking and you want to help. You want to help people, right? So after writing about your job experiences, you can go on and tell the admission officers on your SOP why you chose that course. Tell them why you chose the course, why the course is important to you, why you wish to study the course. And also, there are some persons, perhaps they studied a different course in their undergraduate, for those going for masters, and you wish to digress to a different course altogether. Yeah, there should be a reason why you're digressing from what you studied and what you studied previously and what you're studying now. Perhaps your job experiences align with the course you're going for now, and you want to stay relevant in the industry. You want to be promoted. Perhaps you've stayed there for a longer time and you're due for promotion and you ain't being promoted because your first degree does not tally or align with the job you're doing. So in order for you to be promoted, you need a master's degree. So you really need to state the reason why you're digressing from what you studied in your undergraduate and what you're going for in your master's. Next point you're going to be writing is the reason why you chose the school. Every school has something unique or peculiar about it, so you need to tell the admission officer or state in your SOP the reason why you chose that school. There are so many schools out there in Canada that will do that same course you've chosen to study, right? But there should be a reason or reasons why you're going for that particular school. It ought to be stated on your SOP. Again, you need to state your postgraduate plans. What would change? What would this course do for you? State your immediate goal and your goal in the future for studying that course. Finally, you can also state how relevant the course would be for you when finally you graduate successfully. And on the eighth on our list is recommendation letters. Canada would require you get 3 recommendation letters, preferably 2 from your institutions. From your institution, the institution with which you graduated from, if you are going for masters, and if you are an undergraduate student, it should be from your secondary school. Now, most schools in Canada wouldn't require you get a hard copy of the recommendation letter and then scan and send to them. No, they will require you get the name of the recommender or your referee. Get the name of your recommender or the referee. You get the contact address or institutional name or the organization's name. You get the position of your referee or the recommender should be written down. What is your relationship between the recommender and yourself? Is he a lecturer? Is he your head of department? Is he the dean of your faculty? If it's secondary school, is he your principal? Is he your head of school? Is he your proprietor or your proprietress? Is he your supervisor? Right? So you need to write down the relationship you have with your recommender. And please, do not use your father, your mother, or your sibling as your recommender. It's not advisable. Relatives are not accepted as recommenders or referee. Another thing you'll be looking out for is the email of your recommender. Most schools in Canada do not accept the common email, Gmail, Yahoo Mail. It has to be on an official. It has to be an official email that ends with a domain name, right? So if you wish to get the contact information about your referee or recommender, kindly get an email that does not end with Gmail or Yahoo Mail, not a random email everybody uses. It should be on the organization's name, or it should be with a domain. That's the only one that is acceptable. Also, you should try and get the contact number of your referee. Now, there is something people do about recommendations. They could just put in the name of their lecturers or whoever they wish to use as their referee or recommender, right? And you forget to email the person or tell the person that you used him or her as your recommender. And when the school finally sends a message to your recommender wouldn't acknowledge it, because perhaps some of you that have left school for over years, the lecturer wouldn't even know you again, right? And the lecturer has taught so many persons, so it's very important you contact your recommender and tell your recommender that you're using him or her as a referee, and the school will be sending an email, or the school would need a recommendation letter on your behalf, so they should kindly attest to it. Very important. Kindly tell your recommender about it. Number 9 on the list is the analytical, verbal reasoning, and quantitative skills certificates, which is known as GRE and GMAT. Some schools in Canada will require, if you're going for an MBA program, you need to write a GMAT. While some will require you write GRE if you're going for postgraduate. For undergraduate, it is not necessary. But for postgraduate students, some schools are very intentional about you getting GMAT or GRE while putting application for your master's program. Now the ID score is 700 and above because that is what gives you the 70th to 80th percentile. But some schools would also accept 500, 550, 600, 680. Fine. And also, if you wish to gain scholarships easily, it is very, very important you sit for this examination, these external examinations, which is the grade and the GMAT. The number 10th point here is the WES, known as WES. Some schools in Canada will require you go for evaluation, course by course evaluation. Some will require another reason why you need to go for WES rather is if your CGPA is below the standard or is below the cutoff of what the school require, you can actually go for World Education Service. What they do is for them to evaluate your transcripts, evaluate your credentials, and up it. So for instance, if you graduated with 2.2, let's say 3.0, and a particular school you wish to study accepts 3.4 and above, it is advisable you go for WES. Canada uses 4.0 grading system, while Nigeria uses 5.0. So by the time your result or your transcript or your credential is being evaluated, you find out that it will elevate the status of your CGPA. From 3.0, you can even find yourself above 3.5. So it has an advantage. And the last on my list is for the married ladies. You need to get a marriage certificate, get your newspaper change of name, and get an affidavit of a change of name. This is to ascertain that you are the original owner of the documents you submitted. And the reason why your name changed is because of your status in marriage. And perhaps there are some persons too that aren't married, but along the line their names were changed. It is ideal and it's advisable you get an affidavit of a change of name to align your documents, right? You want to align your documents so the admissions officer wouldn't be suspicious about your credentials or your documents. So you need to get an affidavit of a change of name, right? So these are the documents needed for your application to be successful in Canada. If you want your school, the school of your choice, to give you an offer in Canada, please take these documents seriously. Start putting in applications where necessary. Go for your transcripts, go for your official transcripts, go for your degree certificate, not a notification of results. Make sure you've applied for a new passport if your passport is 6 months into expiration. If your degree is, if your CGPA is low, I would advise you go for WES to up it a bit. Make sure you have a strong CV. Create a strong CV that is very compelling. Mention the experiences you have. Mention the internships you've gone for. Mention the freelance jobs you've done. Is very important. there are so many irrelevant things people add in CV, like the name of your local government, the name of your village, you know. Those things are irrelevant. Add the most relevant things, which are your academic achievements, your job experiences, yeah. Add the awards you've received, if there are any. If you're a member, if you have if you're a member of anybody, you need to state the name of the organization and also impute the ID number if there is any. If you're a die-hard fan of a particular school, which requires you go for an English texting exam, there are lots of them. There is IELTS, there is Duolingo, there is TOEFL, and you can as well get a proficiency letter from your school. And for those whose schools do not issue transcripts until after 5 years after graduation, you need to send a subtle email to your institution of choice. Send an email and tell them that your school does not issue transcripts not until 5 years after graduation. They would understand, right? So I would want to entertain questions if there are any. If you have questions, kindly bring them up here. Does anyone have any questions so far? I'm waiting to entertain questions from you. I guess amongst my viewers here, there are prospective applicants for Canada. Says if your international passport, okay, someone is asking a question here. If your international passport is just 1 year plus away from expiration, is it advisable to use it to apply for the 2-year master program, or one should just get a new one instead of before application? All right, Rave, okay, from Rave. All right, Rave, you want to know if your passport is 1 year into expiration, if you can actually use it to put in application. Very well, yes, you can use it to put in application, yeah. But when you when you travel to Canada, or when you arrive Canada, it is very important you apply for a renewal. Yes, if your passport is 1 year into expiration, it's still valid. It's valid, so you can use it, but it is as advisable that you get it renewed as soon as possible. There are immigration offices everywhere in the world. Nigeria has an immigration office even in Canada. So perhaps while in Canada, 6 months into expiration, or if it expires, you can actually apply for a new one. But for you to transit to Canada, for you to migrate to Canada, it needs to be more than 6 months, right? Okay. So Princess is asking if her picture should be on her CV. It's not necessary. It's an academic CV, so it's not necessary that your picture should be on your. It's not the ideal thing to do. Your picture shouldn't be on your academic CV. There are important things you could actually write on the CV other than your picture. Yeah. Questions, please. I hope I've been able to answer you. Rave, are you still there? Princess, I hope I've been able to answer you as well. So everyone here is satisfied with the information I gave out. Is that what it means? Is everyone satisfied with the information I gave out? Remember, I said for your application, your study application to be successful, you would need, number one, your international passport. I'm trying to recap now. Oh, okay. Yes, Rave, I got that. Since the master program is about 2 years, you're asking, you just want to verify if you can go with the passport, which has 1 year left. Yeah, you can go with it. Get it renewed as soon as you get to Canada. Okay. So I said number one document you would need to apply to schools in Canada is your passport, and remember, it shouldn't be less than 6 months into expiration. Number two is your degree certificate. It has to be the main certificate, not notification of result or statement of results. And also stated that for those who have already gone for OND before going for BSc, it's very important to also get the degree certificate for the OND. And also, I talked about the official transcripts. It's very important to get your transcripts from your institution and make them send it to your school, the institution you wish to attend in Canada. If it to be mailed, it should be in a sealed envelope that ought not to be tampered with. And the school has to send it directly to the school from your undergraduate institution to the school you intend to go study in Canada. And I also stated that for those who already have OND before obtaining BSc degree, it's very important to as well get the OND transcripts as well. Do not apply for your master's program with your BSc alone, your BSc transcript or your BSc certificate, when you have an OND or HND before acquiring the or earning the BSc degree. And for those in secondary school or those going for undergraduate, you have to get transcript from your secondary school. Yeah, the transcript is your result from SS1, 2, and 3. Your result from SS1, 2, and 3 is your transcript for those going for undergraduate, right? The number 4 on the list is WAEC certificate and scratch card. For authentication, it's very ideal you get the scratch card of your WAEC, right? Get the scratch card, and the results of your WAEC shouldn't be the notification of results or the computer printout. Get the original WAEC certificate. With that, there should be a waive for some schools. You'll be exempted from submitting IELTS. Some schools, when you submit your WAEC or your NECO and you credited your English, they would actually waive the IELTS for you, right? So it's very important. But a situation whereby you did not pass your WAEC, you need to write a language test, whether the Duolingo, the TOEFL, the IELTS. But some schools are very particular about you writing English language test. Whether you're from Nigeria or not, whether English is your first language, they do not want to know. In that case, I would advise you look for alternative means. Alternative means could be getting a proficiency letter, or applying to schools that would accept your WAEC without asking for IELTS or any of these English language test results, or any English language testing result to show your English prowess. I also made mention of your CV. I said you have to create a very strong and compelling CV. Your CV should be so outstanding, because it's one of the documents that you would actually use to express yourself and sell yourself out to the admissions officer. They would want to see that your CV is written in a chronological manner. They want to see your experiences on your CV, your detailed experiences that has the date, the name of the organization you've worked for, that has the day, the month you started working and the year, that has the position you're holding or the positions you've held, and also with a bullet you can outline, you would not scan, you are going to outline your roles and responsibilities. Do not write a CV and then write the position held without outlining or listing out the roles and responsibilities you've played, or the responsibilities you've actually carried out, or the roles you've played. Also on your CV, you have to write about every of your achievements. If you've gained any award, it should be written there. If you have publication, it should be written there. If there are skills you have that are relevant in the course you're going for, you need to detail it out on your CV as well. And then number 7 is the SOP, the statement of purpose. It is a very crucial essay that talks about yourself, talks about everything about you, from your background, your academics, your experiences, why you chose the course, what the course will do for you, what you're going to do with the course after graduating, why you chose the school, and why you chose to study in that particular country. So here you need to be elaborate, you need to be detailed, yeah, so you can actually convince the admissions officers about your intentions of going for that course on your SOP. And number 8 is recommendation letters. And on the recommendation letters, I said it's advisable you get 3 contacts, detailed contacts of your referrer or your recommender. In Canada, they would require you get 2 from the school and 1 from your place of work for those going for master's degree. But if you just left school, it's very ideal you get from your school, and you have to write the name of the recommender, the name of the organization, the contact address, the position held, and the person's relationship with you. You're also going to write out the person's or your recommender's official email address. Canada does not accept the common Gmail and Yahoo Mail. It has to, the email needs to have a domain name. You should also get a contact number of your recommender. Number 9 on the list is the GRE and the GMAT. The GRE and the GMAT. GMAT is specifically for those going for MBA programs, and if you wish to gain scholarship easily, you need to go for these standardized examinations. You need to go for this standardized exam if you want to gain scholarships, right? And some schools would actually make it compulsory you write either GRE or GMAT. Another is the WES. Most schools in Canada will require you evaluate your credentials. WES means World Education Service. What they do is to evaluate your credentials or your transcript. It has a very great advantage for those whose CGPA are low. With WES, it can actually up your CGPA. It can boost it because Canada uses the 4-point grading system, while Nigeria uses 5, right? And lastly, for the ladies who are married, if your name, the name on your passport isn't same with the name on your other credentials, you need to get your marriage certificate, get your newspaper change of name, and lastly your affidavit of a change of name. That is to tell the admissions officer or to ascertain that those certificates are actually yours. The reason for the change of name is due to your marital status. All right. For those coming in now, may I kindly know if you have any question? I'm here to attend to you, please. Do you wish to study in Canada this year or in 2024? We can actually help you put in application for next year. All right, so in absence of no question, okay, if I have a personal copy of my transcript, can I use it for application, or it must be sent only from my school to the intended school I'm going for? Okay, now this particular question is applicable to some schools that would, if a school requires you get an official transcript, there is nothing you can do about it. However, you can begin the process of the application by submitting an unofficial transcript. Meanwhile, you must have applied for an official transcript to be sent from your from the institution you passed out to your preferred institution. So for evaluation, you can actually submit your unofficial transcript, but before the offer arrives, ensure that the transcript from your school, that's the official transcript, must have gotten to your institution. It's very important. When schools state categorically that what they need is an official transcript, you cannot maneuver with your unofficial transcript. Get an official transcript. An official transcript is an official transcript, so you can get that from your school. The personal one you have is called unofficial transcript. But for some schools, they do not really mind. They would want you to submit your unofficial transcript, yeah, and then when you come over and on enrollment, you'll be asked to get the official transcript. They do not really care if the transcript submitted were to be an unofficial transcript. Yeah, so I guess that answers your question, Rev. Let me know if I answered your question. Right, for those coming in now, we're talking about the 10 documents required to apply for studies in Canada. Undergraduate studies, postgraduate studies. NACI Concepts is in for it. So in order for you to put in applications to the schools in Canada, what documents are required? For those coming in now, I will give you a rundown of what is required. So you would need your passport. You'll be needing your degree certificate 2. You'll be needing your transcript 3. You'll be needing your WIAC certificate 4. You'll be needing an IELTS, that is if the school requires, because most schools will place a waiver for Nigerians because officially our language here is English. The language we use officially is English. English is the prominent mode of communication in Nigeria is English, so some schools would actually waive it for us. And for some schools too that do not really waive, if you write an email and tell them you're a Nigerian, your first language is English, or through the sphere of your education you were taught in English language, and then you have a WIAC result where you wrote English and then you merited it, you can actually get a waiver. They can grant you a waiver for it. Another strong document you would need is a compelling CV. You have to get a CV, not a professional CV. There is a difference between professional CV and academic CV. So the CV you should be submitting while making an application is an academic CV. You'll be needing an SOP. SOP is the statement of purpose. For some schools, they will ask for personal statement or personal letter. So the letter is like a crucial essay, or it's a crucial essay that discusses your application, right? Talks about your academic records, talks about your experiences, talks about your accomplishments, it talks about your skills. On your SOP, you need to tell the admissions officers why you chose to study the course at that point, and you need to also state some courses you'll be taking. Yeah, you can set your course plan on it. You could as well tell them what the course will do for you after graduation. You should have a postgraduate plan. Tell them why you chose the school, and also write down why you chose Canada as your preferred country for study. You'll be needing recommendation letters, 3 recommendation letters, and not a hard copy recommendation letter or a soft copy that is So you need to get the name of your referrer. get the name of your referrer, the contact information of your referrer, get the position the referrer holds, the organizational name, the organization's name rather, get the email of the referrer, and this email ought not to be the ordinary Yahoo Mail or Gmail. It should be on the organization's name, or it should be an email that has a domain. All right. And finally, for the married ladies, you need to get a change of name. If the name on your passport does not tally with the name on your credentials, that is to show that the credentials you have are yours, but there was a name change because of the status in marriage, change of status in marriage. All right. So may I kindly know if there are more questions? Are there more questions here? Hello? Are there more questions? All right, so we'll be saying bye from here. From me to you, I say goodbye from here. Have a lovely day. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Remember, my name is Happiness. I am a counseling expert in legacy concepts. Okay, question just popped up. What about when you apply and you are not married? What happens? Okay, when you apply and you aren't married, in as much as your names are the same, you don't need to get an affidavit of a change of name. You can only get an affidavit of a change of name when you are married. If you're not married, you do not need it, except if there is a mistake in the spelling of your name, if there is an error, an omission, or if there is a change of name. That is when it is advisable you get an affidavit of a change of name and a newspaper change of name. Otherwise, you do not need it. All right, thank you, Real Ede, thank you. Thorough word, thank you. So we're expecting you. Next, we'll be happy to put in application for you. All right, that will be the end of our live for today. Stay safe, stay cool. Till we meet again. My name is Happiness. Bye.